Red light, yeah.
Good afternoon, 5:33 p.m., August 24th already, oh my God. August 24th, 2026. This is the 2026 Tilton Northfield Fire and EMS Building Committee. Present are myself, Kevin Waldron, Commissioner Tim Sattler, Scott Hilliard, Helen Hardenberg. The only person who I was previously aware who was not going to be here was Sabrina McPhail. However, we do have a quorum,
Let me hand out agendas, sir.
so we can proceed.
Yeah.
Can I have minutes as well? Because I volunteer.
You see the minutes?
I've seen the minutes, but I can't vote.
If you
I
want to,
have to
if you
abstain
choose to, you can.
because I wasn't here.
Yeah. We found out
It's not relevant.
That's not relevant.
We have a legal opinion relative to that.
We do?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
There's no requirement that you actually attended the meeting that you are voting on the minutes for.
okay.
However, is it your intention to abstain?
Well, no, because then we can't do it.
If that's what's on your mind and in your heart, they can wait.
No, that's okay.
There is no public to include for public comment, so we will review the minutes of July 27th, 20. Does this say 26?
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Put your glasses on, Kevin.
Is there a motion relative to those minutes?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman. Accept the minutes as read.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the minutes as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are accepted. Before we proceed, did anybody or everybody get an emailed copy of the agenda before?
Tonight's meeting?
No, I didn't
No, I didn't either.
get an email copy. I just went online.
Oh, here comes somebody.
Sounds like we might have a visitor.
Yeah, somebody's coming.
Oh, there.
Ted.
Derek Farrell has joined the meeting at 5:36 p.m. So relative to the agenda, I think everything that we do is very much based off what the commissioners have done. So, Jim. Would you mind taking over the agenda for this meeting?
Okay.
You can do that, you're vice chair.
Yes.
I think everything's more or less connected, and you have first-hand knowledge. I mean, I've been attending your meetings, but if you wouldn't mind doing that.
I can do that for you.
And also, if we can have, the date is always on it, but the time and the place would be a great addition.
I think you mentioned that, wasn't it? You mentioned
Did
that
I?
last- Yeah, you mentioned that last meeting.
I'm repeating myself?
It probably didn't make it back to Kathy. I think when you're on the website, it tells you, you can click on the agenda and it tells you the time and place.
It
Yes,
does.
it does. Yeah. But the email copy doesn't, is what you said. Yeah, because that was just
Okay.
on the website.
Do we have schematic drawings to review?
We do not. They're working on updated schematics, and they're bringing them to the commissioners' meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
So we don't have anything updated other than what you might have seen at the last commissioners' meeting.
Okay.
If that's gonna happen, sorry,
No, go ahead.
if that's gonna happen repeatedly, do we need to move our meeting to be after your meeting?
Yeah.
Because it seems
in
like
this case.
it's putting the egg before it.
Yeah, I thought this meeting was a little.
So we set our meeting schedule based on availability
Right.
of
Well,
the
I know.
majority of this group. So if we change it, we got just enough plus one for a quorum with a meeting we've known about for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If we, I mean, I'll meet any day. You guys want to meet at the pub?
Sure.
On, you know,
One tonight?
I don't know, it's
whenever it
just,
is, I'm game. I have no issues with meeting, any meeting schedule, but that's only me.
And we scheduled the meeting for tomorrow night.
Especially,
Yeah, that was like a last minute kind of schedule on that, and we picked it because tonight was busy, so we picked that.
yeah, I'm just saying, it just
Yeah.
seems that,
Yeah,
you know,
It
it would
should-
be, if that meeting was 2 weeks out and it was just before our meeting, then maybe it would make sense to me, but it's like right after.
Yeah,
and-
it's one of the, you know, the downfalls, I
I
guess.
don't know, now you're looking, now that you have to take care of the meeting minutes, maybe you can address that, I mean, the meeting
Yeah.
schedule.
Well, one of the problems with this committee is it's the traditionally the second and fourth Mondays, and the commissioners' meeting is the second Tuesday. So those two meetings are always.
There's always one behind the other.
So that would be a problem next month. No, actually it wouldn't because of the way the weeks fall.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I
yes,
just, okay,
we should be more careful with scheduling.
or at least more careful about what goes on the agenda.
Do we
So,
have-
so as far as that goes, the SMP came up with a couple different designs possibilities for Park Street to work through several of the questions that came up to try to offer some options for that decon section between the new and the old. And there were, you look at all the ones they came up and you go, none here goes, oh yeah, these are horrible and that's perfect. So there's still some tweaking there. And we had a lengthy conversation about gear storage, decon. Can we keep the gear storage in the current garage and just add decon, and then that allows us to move some things around and bring the building farther away from the road. And
So I don't understand why we could build a new station, right? We build the new station, and then we have space in Park Street to eventually put an area where we can decon. And then the architect said that, well, our system isn't designed for it. Why can't we design the system and put it in place when we build the new building, and then create whatever funds we have left over or whatnot, put a decon area in the Park Street beds? I don't understand, like, what the hang-up is there.
I think the commissioners, from the back and forth that I've been witness to, there are commissioners who feel that one of the things the new station has to have is a modern decon. And there's the other side of the coin, we'll leave that for down the road.
Well, I'm not saying down the road, I'm saying, I mean,
But because that's part of the conversation is, yeah, the there potentially is room in the current station for that, but the architect was concerned with, well, if you're gonna modernize the decon in the current building, you're tearing up floors to put in storage tanks and whatever, and those, now all of a sudden is that.
Can those storage tanks can't be stored like side?
Well, and then you then need to upgrade the whole building, kind of,
Yeah.
that whole argument that comes up again. So,
Well, so that would have to be a separate project.
What you don't want to do, as I understand, is you don't want to touch something that's fundamental to the existing structure.
Correct. When we're building a new station, but you can't tell us after the station's built that we can't do anything to this
No, but
station.
you can, but if you, even after the extras, the addition is put on Park
Mhm.
Street, that building, the existing building, has to remain technically untouched.
Well,
Forever, it's not
That-
a question, you're gonna have to rebuild it if you start tearing up its fundamental framework. That's as I understand the laws about.
And I think that conversation will-
make any sense.
that conversation will continue.
Because you can't. So you're saying like the town highway department wanted to do something in their building, put a sleeping quarters for their. They can't do that for their guys after plow, so they can plow at night. They can't do anything.
And you could,
But no, like you know what I mean. Like
no, I'm
it's a
talking about the
ridiculous law. I
fundamental
understand what you're
framework
saying.
of the building. You could put up interior walls, that's not changing the
That's what I'm.
fundamental
That's what I'm
framework.
saying.
But if you have to dig something into the ground and break up the
I mean, you would have to
floor,
cut a
that's a fundamental change.
cutting a concrete trench.
The foundation is, the floor is not.
Right. It's just cutting a concrete trench. and
So
drop-
anyway, those
So,
conversations are continuing.
is your point, Derek, that
we build the building.
build the building,
and then after
down
fact-
the road,
Well,
you
a
you
year-
say, hey, let's do a decon?
Let's do a decon center.
I see no reason you couldn't do that.
Yeah, and I'm personally very concerned about what the dollar amount's going to total when we go to district meeting.
Well, he said in that meeting, he said 900 square feet of decon is a lot different than 900 square feet of
Garage space.
garage space. So, like,
Yes.
we're going to already have a decon in Sanborn Road. I feel like it could get us by for a year and then look into putting in a new decon.
Well, and I think you made that comment, or Matt,
I
or
did, and I
somebody
got
did.
shot down.
But you're right. How often do you have a huge, I don't want to say a big event where you need lots of people to run through decon? And I think, as you said, well, you just do that all up at Sanborn Road.
Right, and we're going to go to one station, we're going to get cleaned up, we're going to clean our gear, or clean what we need to clean, and then we're going to get back in service. And do that now. We have a nasty ambulance call, we usually do most of our decon at the hospital because we want all that stuff at the hospital. And then we'll come back and we'll clean it up more at the station. If we go to a fire, we clean our stuff at Park Street usually, or we'll bring it back to Center Street and clean it in the extractor at Center Street, where we clean our SCBA bottles and whatnot. Wherever we go, we typically end up at one station
Right.
after a large scale incident to do our cleaning. So to have two right now,
Almost, in your opinion, sounds like a luxury.
it sounds like a hang up if it's going to be that expensive, and we're worried about costs to get these stations built, in my opinion.
Which also might be a good point to think about is that, and I don't remember who it was, someone said new overhead doors and siding for Park Street should be part of the bond.
I think
That is a terrible idea,
I think that's a terrible idea too.
because everything you do to make this more expensive is just another reason for someone
The
to
vote
vote no.
against, right?
And I
Get
think
the basic
overhead
done,
doors
yeah.
and siding is very very doable within a CIP budget.
after the project's done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, like,
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
You know,
I think the chief had brought that up, but not doing it later on. Like he's like, it needs new doors, but we'll do it later on. We're not going to do it right away.
I thought it was,
I
think
think
that's
it's come
one
up
thing.
multiple times, and so, clarification.
Good point, yeah.
You know, we're looking for a yes vote.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. We did the police station. The police had to have an impound lot, but their impound lot was at the DPW. So they made cuts in the budget, obviously, for the building. That was one of the things they cut out. They're just finishing that now, 5 years later, putting it up to Sanborn Road from DPW. And no bond. It's not in the bond, it's money that we set aside in CIP.
So we should be looking for more of those kinds of opportunities to keep the budget small, sort of.
You know, I think the best style is going to two reasonably sized buildings.
That's right, and truth be told, the first plan they show for Park Street, it's the only plan that I will go. The second one with those screwed up roof lines and the extra this and the extra that, it don't make any sense to me.
So you're saying A,
Plan A is that what?
but now we're going to Plan D, which is supposed to have like the breezeway, or Plan E, is supposed to have like the breezeway with the decon area. And the, hopefully they make it simple, but the decon area, if you have to go through multiple doors to go to a decon area, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Should that be accessible directly from apparatus bay?
Yeah, it should be like an in and out.
And
Like,
outside,
You
right?
should have an in and out and then an access to like a clean area.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to touch door handles or touch anything to go through multiple doors to go to a decon. I'd rather just walk through a door, clean up, and then walk to a clean space. It just,
Yeah, and I think
that's
it's,
why putting a decon in, putting a decon in the garage bay makes more sense.
and I think Sanborn Road had that
Had
type
that,
of one
yeah.
door and
Yeah.
decon. Plus you had one door into it from the outside, so you could go right into their, from the outside without having to, get a truck in the building first.
Correct.
Is there a construction manager update?
We selected a construction manager. The update will come after tomorrow. They're coming to the meeting tomorrow. Contract will go to the lawyers to make sure everything's okay, and we'll sign that once we get that back. We went with BPS Bonapage, Stone, and
EPS
This
Bonnet
Bonnet
page
page
is
is,
done.
on page 7.
neither one of the three are still around, but. Yeah, Bonnet page is done.
Bonapage. Who's the P?
Page,
Page. Bonapage.
Bonnet,
Oh, Bonnet.
Bonnet, Page,
Page.
and Stone. Bonnet, comma, Page, and Stone.
Okay. And we invited them to the meeting for tomorrow, and they are coming.
Do we have a Sanborn Road property update?
Yeah, I can update you on that. The selectmen have selected 2 selectmen and Tim Pearson to be on a committee.
That's correct.
And we appointed Jason from the commissioners to be on that committee. And we have received an initial letter from the selectmen indicating their desire to move forward with coming together with some sort of a plan for that. And Scott was trying to figure out when they could meet.
Yeah, I suggested to them to meet as soon as possible. 'Cause I told them, we're trying to move along. So I would venture to say that most likely sometime next week, we'll try to, I'll work on it later this week, putting those 4 people together. So
What is the purpose of that committee?
the purpose of that committee is to draft an agreement regarding the 2 pieces of property, Sanborn Road and Center Street. So,
And I think the town has a few more steps to jump through
yes,
because the town has planning boards and zoning boards and such
right,
that the fire district doesn't have.
right.
But the fire district has to bring it before the district meeting. The town likely will as well, although they don't have to. Is that accurate?
Do you know why the selectmen, this committee is the selectmen's idea, is it not?
Yes, it was.
Do you know why they felt with a 5-member board, they needed a committee? I mean, it was clear to me the 5 of them ought to be able to get it done. And the more people you involve, the more complicated
yeah,
it gets and the
I-
more dragged out it gets.
I think it's because there's some language that, because the diocese owned the property, so there's some language in there that both the fire district and the town, and the language from the diocese says, if the town is to sell it or give it away or whatever, it can only be for municipal purposes, number one. And then there's a bunch of language in there that we have to follow subsequently if this plan comes together. The fire district will have to follow it too. And it's, it's language like, what you can do on the property. In other words, if the fire department were to raise fund for a new abortion clinic, for instance, and have an event at that location, it would not be allowed. It's the wording I'm thinking of. It's restrictive use of the property. I think, and not speaking for the board, but what my sense is that they want to see that the town of Tilton, they can justify to the town of Tilton taxpayers that, what we receive in support of this trade is beneficial to the town of Tilton taxpayers. So, call it a mutual agreement, whatever, but that really was the purpose, I think. And the fact that we have, since this negotiation between the commissioners and the Board of Selectmen over the years, we have 4 new board members that were not privy to that. So Pat is the only one that really spoke for. Initially there was a discussion about would that be a fair swap in getting this municipal property and giving that one up for this one. Is that a fair deal? Is it in the best interest of the taxpayers? And I think what the understanding the board came to is we need a fire station in Tilton as well. So that serves in the best interest of it. And they're not looking to make money, I'm not saying money's not going to be involved, that's not up to me. But what I'm saying is they're not looking, the fair market value of Sanborn Road today is like 300% more than it was when they purchased it 5 years ago. So how do they, the board, say, how are we going to show our taxpayers? And I think the consensus is basically, and I would agree with it, is that the taxpayers of the town of Tilton know they need a fire station. That's not going to suffice, So, but I think, so it's mutually agreed by the commissioners and the Board of Selectmen, and that we can sell it to the district together.
So who will make up that committee?
That committee will be made up of Jim Pearson, Pat Constantino, and Eric Adams, who are on the Board of Selectmen. Originally,
So that's 3 people.
Yes. I was included in that, and at the last meeting in it's called the Town Administrator's Report, or I call it a TA report, which is a public document. I suggested they take me off that committee because I serve on this committee. And I just I didn't think it looked right. I was the one that made that suggestion, and they agreed. So,
And then Jason is also.
And
Jason from the fire district, yeah,
And there's three, so that's three Tilton selectmen,
yeah, and one commissioner.
one commissioner.
Or two Tilton selectmen, the assistant town administrator, Tim, who's our finance director. That's his capacity, is the Mighties. And then Jason, so,
So that's a total of four.
four, right, which is an even number, so.
How does that work when it comes to a vote
well,
and there's a tie?
That's the question. I would say that,
Are they, I don't know that, do they have power to vote on anything? They're gonna
no.
come up with a recommendation.
yeah, it's a recommendation, so,
But they're gonna vote on the recommendation, what's going,
what's gonna transpire? It has to be agreed upon by both.
so that committee is a subcommittee of the Tilton Board of Selectmen?
No, it's just basically an ad hoc committee that's gonna work with the fire district on what physically is gonna take place.
Is there, at the creation of the committee, are there documents related to the creation of the committee and what they're to do? A charge, so to speak?
No, there's not. The only charge that's been discussed is to begin negotiations, to sit down and agree upon a plan of action. So it's ad hoc committee at best, but the goal is so that the Board of Selectmen and the fire commissioners can justify and say, this is what we negotiated with in the best interest of both the fire district and the town of Tilton. And there's already been some discussion about some parking along the side of the building, and maybe one of the things that was discussed is how much space does the fire district need for this building? And, because I think it's an acre and a quarter, that piece that's there. So, but I would say more likely than not, it's gonna be relatively, let's hope it's smooth flowing, but, so that each representative of each committee can justify what they did. For instance, some people might think that, the space at Center Street that the town wants, what, in the interest of the town, is for parking, additional parking. So negotiating the agreement, how does that come about? Included in that is, there was original, correct me when I'm wrong, Tim, there was original discussion about the fire district would raise or demolish the Center Street building and pave the parking lot or pave the area so that there's no cost to the Tilton taxpayers at this site. And in fact, in part of the swap, that is the agreement. And how much space do they need? Do they need the whole parcel, or do they need, my understanding is that there's a big chunk of it that won't, with this size building, won't be needed, so. But, again, I think, I don't know, I would think that when Jason and these three people get together, they will talk about what happens in the future. If you decide you need more space up there, is it gonna be available? Is there gonna be some kind of deed restriction for expansion. So I would think of all of those things. And I think it's more or less, Kevin, just language, to get the language so that it's acceptable.
I think it's a lot of answering questions.
Yeah, it's more so than that.
You know, how close can we go to the north border? How close can we be to the
Yeah,
west to the road?
yeah,
How much space can be left over?
yeah,
How much impact on the parking that's already there?
yeah.
A lot of those type of
Yeah,
questions.
that's basically,
And the architect is aware of, you know, a lot of those concerns as well.
and I suspect the architect will be involved in those meetings with the fire district.
So it occurs to me that the way it's created, the representation is a bit lopsided.
It is. Yeah, well, and that's,
Because there's one person from the fire commission,
right.
there are 3 people from the town of Tilton.
Yep.
And even though neither piece of land is in Northfield, Northfield is part and parcel of the fire district.
Right, right. Yeah.
And they should, if, personally, I don't think they need a committee. I think the 3 commissioners and the 5 Tilton selectmen are more than capable of getting this done. I can't believe they're not.
Well, let me stop you right there. When the agreement comes together, it will be the 5 Board of Selectmen members that will vote to support it. That was part of the discussion. However, I only got back one name. And I did share the concern that it's a 4-member board. And I thought maybe there would be either another commissioner or somebody else representing the fire district.
Well, I don't think it could be another commissioner, because then you've got a quorum of the board.
Right, that's exactly.
It should,
That's exactly.
I think, if it's gonna exist,
Yeah,
it should include someone
right,
from Northfield.
yeah. I'll make that suggestion.
Also, I know the term ad hoc committee.
Mhm.
I don't know what laws they operate under. Are those meetings warned? Is there an agenda for the meeting?
No, it's more ad hoc, so there won't be an agenda. The information will be noted in the public, it'll be available to the public, but
The meeting's public?
they haven't established that yet. There's no rules, so. I would
I
think
think
that,
they would have to be public.
yeah. If it involves any monetary involvement of taxpayer funds, it has to be public. So, I will suggest that somebody else, maybe it's a Northfield selectman, you know.
Someone who knows
Right,
something about
right,
municipal government
right.
and special
Yeah.
village districts,
Right.
which is what,
Right, or Stephanie, the town administrator, yeah, I don't know if she would, but,
the whole thing seems lopsided to me.
yeah,
It just,
yeah. Don't understand.
um,
There were 5 when I was there, but again, I just felt compelled that. And I don't think it necessarily has to be an elected official, because Tim Pearson is not an elected official.
correct.
So,
And he's not a resident.
and he's not a resident, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, it could be anybody.
Um,
Tim, you got a dog, right?
Do we have any other business? Is there anything else anyone would like to discuss?
I guess just part of the public outreach, I was talking with another resident about helping us with doing a video of the current facilities and helping us, you know, I don't know, maybe have the chief or one of the firefighters point out things as we did a walkthrough video of the current stations. And then they suggested, you know, you might want to do before and after, so find another station that's, you know, like the New Boston station, and then so you can show, you know, this is how we do this,
That's a good idea.
this is how a modern station does it. So I think I have them on board with maybe helping us with that. I'm gonna bring it up with the, with you guys and the commissioners.
Are you talking about a new video or using stuff that we, I mean,
No,
there's
do it.
got to be thousands of pictures from the previous proposals that showed what this place is, what this place is.
Yeah, but I think the video with the narration helps, because you can look at a picture, and it's kind of like what, you know, you bring somebody down and they look at all those bright, shiny, you know, beautiful trucks, and they go, oh, this is nice. Because they've never been in a fire station before, so I don't know what I'm looking for or at. So I think you need the narration to go through and show you the different spaces in a fire station and what they're for. You know, and then you can subtly point out the deficiencies as compared to,
I don't think it'll be very subtle.
well,
I think it'll be,
Crystal
problem
clear.
with this is,
and you haven't told us about your trip to the fire station.
That's not,
I heard you had a visit.
yeah, I did, I went to visit, I went to see it because I wanted to know what was going on, and it's a mess. I mean, you know, I wouldn't want to work there, I
it's in
wouldn't want to
pretty good
climb
shape
those
for the shape
stairs.
it's in.
Huh?
It's in pretty good shape for the shape it's in.
Well, okay,
You
but
can't say it's not homey.
you
Not
know
homey.
what?
Homey.
Homie.
It's very homey
If
and
you
cozy.
called OSHA on these
Oh,
guys, it would never pass.
Yeah.
It would never pass. I mean, I've had a lot of dealings with OSHA in my life, so we would have to do something. We would just simply be required, or we would have a shutdown station, so,
Well, you would think, but
Well, and that's how, that's sort of how we need to get that message across, because, you know, as everyone agrees, we've got some great guys and they show up promptly when,
Yeah.
you know, when they get called, and people speak very highly about their interaction with the firefighters, but that's usually at their home, not at the station. So they don't get to see the backside of it, you know?
yeah.
Kind of like going to a restaurant, you don't want to see what's going on in the kitchen.
No,
Oh,
no.
no, you do want to see what's going on in the kitchen, that will tell you a lot about what you get in the front.
You probably wouldn't go.
I
in a
can guarantee you
lot of
that because I
places.
was in the food service industry for a long time.
So anyway, trying to start working on some, you know, material for public outreach and being able to have that posted places where people can see it.
If you do a video, you're gonna have to post it online.
Yeah.
Nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
you could,
that's not a terrible idea. It's something to get, you know, you get people
Thinking.
thinking, you get their mind in motion.
yeah.
Right.
But you could also take
There's no-
snippets from it and go ahead and do a picture with a caption side by side and start posting them around. So, because not everybody's gonna go onto the website
Right.
or has Facebook or whatever,
Right.
or YouTube. Get it to YouTube.
These meetings go on, I saw it on YouTube. I didn't know that's where these meetings went. They go on YouTube.
I listen to them as I drive.
I hope
Are
you
you
don't
able to
watch
stay
them.
awake?
I listened to the last commissioners meeting. It was pretty interesting.
This is better than being there.
It was.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's nothing like the here and there. You don't get the excitement, you don't get the tension, you don't
Yeah.
get. Anything else?
When is?
Hey,
We have a
maybe
plan
we
for
can
public
get
outreach?
Amazon. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't know if we have planned dates for like how many public outreaches are we doing.
We don't have planned dates yet, but it's, and again, certainly something, you know, that my hope would be that this committee's able to help with. And also, you know, getting some write-ups so that we can, you know, would it be great to be able to post something on the fire department's, you know, Facebook page and website
I think we should
once
put
a
out-
week, and you know, having something in the Northfield newsletter,
Share
Each
Northfield
month.
Talks, whatever it is.
and
There should be, maybe once that video or whatever it's gonna turn out to be is complete, I assume it would be on the fire district website, but a link, we could ask the town
Yeah.
Yep.
Link it.
to link,
Yeah,
is that the right word?
Yep,
yes.
yep, link it on
Yep.
their website.
Thanks, Kevin.
To
You're
link
getting knowledgeable.
To that
about
video
scanning.
on the town's
Their
website.
town
Yeah.
website.
Yeah, we have several links to website, so that's a great idea.
So our next-
Unfortunately, none of us are marketing, experts and,
Right.
Yeah, but I think different. But when I'm watching something and I get interrupted by an ad, I don't remember it, so I'll buy something from them. I remember it, so I won't.
right,
Right.
just pisses you off,
You interrupted me, don't,
right?
not interested in you. So, our next meeting is September 14th, which is, that's a Monday.
Monday, yep.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned at 6:14 PM.
Hey, I had to. It just took me a little while to get here.
Yeah.
Ready? Yep.